Hello, I just wanted to say hi to Trish and make sure she knew that I actually like her video a lot, even though it's, against my personal viewpoints. I just wanted to bring up some items, just some food for thought, so that way, both, Trish as well as some other viewers, whoever sees this, might understand the differences, between, like, socialism and the differences of Hitler and the differences of different Catholic religions. And also for Trish, I also want to let you know this is not demeaning to your video in any way or demeaning to you in any way. But I just want to make sure that people understand, as well as you understand, that there's a big history, a knowledge of history of socialism that does not apply to Obama. And also, I also want to let you know that if you stay tuned into this, then you will understand why Obama is actually not versus God. He's not against anything. Um, but I will agree that it does seem like what you said about his anti-Catholic sentiments, it does seem like that since they do have to pay fines when they reject gay people, that is anti-Catholic. However, why would Catholics reject gay people if they want to, uh, give a baby a good home? But that's a different video. Right now, I just want to get into some other stuff. But like I said, there's stuff that weighs on me pretty heavily, that's both negative and positive, and I want to go over both of them, okay? And and one thing among many that I truly admire about you, Trish, is that even though you're Catholic and Republican, you actually do support gay rights, which is, it makes me really happy to hear that about you. And I hope that's true about a lot of people in, from your perspective. Um, and so, like I said, I wanted to go over some points of history that will bring us up to par for today and for why it's not considered socialism what Obama does. And so, first, as you may know, the Irish Catholics, they migrated to America shortly after the English people did, and the English were also majorly Catholic, among some other Protestant religions. And the two religions, Irish Catholic and English Catholic, they were vastly different. But the one main point of difference is that Irish um, religion had a sort of an all for one and one for all lifestyle, and meaning that the wealth of the few was shared by with the people who had no wealth, with the people who were downtrodden. And so the religion itself, in and of itself, with that one main difference, it promotes a sort of a social welfare, a social well-being, or whatever you want to call it. And some people do call that socialism, but I do not, because so what if people have a little bit extra and want to share with the people who do not? I don't think that's considered socialism. I don't think so at all. Um, but also, something I wanted to mention about the migration to America by English and Irish is that slightly before the migration in the late 16 early 1700s, um, that's the onset of the time frame that I'm talking about. um, English had destroyed Ireland, banned its religion, made its inhabitants into a famished country, into indentured servants, and basically exploited the Irish people for the potato. Prior to the destruction of Ireland, it was blooming and blossoming, and it was a great place. But the English absolutely had to take over. They were on a takeover spree, actually. That brings us to America, actually. So, part of our part of everyone's heritage that's here right now. Thanks, England. Well, anyways, of course, I'm gonna move on right now, and what I want to say is that the Irish version of Catholicism had been banned by law here in America, much like it was banned there, overseas, and many of the churches that the people from Ireland had built were burnt down, and therein lies one of Trish's points, which I'm really, like I said, I have positive and negative feelings, much like many other viewers might. Um, it's really positive to know that whenever the government goes against religion, people die. There's either some sort of civil unrest, or there's battles, or fights, or what have you. Now, in the case of Ireland and England, there were rebellions and fires and small fights and gangs, and it got to a point where an Irish bishop by the name of John Hughes warned their oppressors that if one more Irish Catholic church got destroyed, that Philadelphia would become another Moscow. And in case you didn't know, I'm taking you farther back in history at this point. I'm taking you so far back. Moscow was burnt down by its citizens at one point because it didn't want French acquisition. It was trying to prevent the French from taking over Moscow. And so what the bishop was saying at the time, here in America, what the bishop was saying was that we will take down this city if it means taking you down with us. And there's not going to be any more deaths on any side. We've had it. They basically put their opposition forward, oppose them, oppose the main people, the oppressors, oppose the oppressors, and become equal. And so therein lies the what? Equal rights. The predecessors to equal rights lie in Irish Catholicism. The predecessors for democracy, the predecessors for independence lie with that initial group. And so I also want to mention that none of the Irish people were recognized or praised in anything they did. The only praise they got actually was in battles and wars and fights. And that was actually a stereotype that was quite on the spot. Not for all Irish people, but for many Irish people. It was a stereotype of the time that actually was based on some sort of reality. Now, out of the wars and out of the battles rises this hero, Andrew Jackson. If you don't see a $20 bill, pick up one and look at Andrew Jackson. That is Andrew Jackson. He is the first Catholic Irish American to win office due to his service. Well, not specifically due to his service, but he, was honored in wars and battles. And so he used that as a stepping stool to get the presidency. And, the country at that point had shifted to social welfare, social well-being. And again, I have to say, this in the middle of the video, that I'm really sorry for the bad audio. I don't know what's going on with my audio. I'm using this little mic, so I'm really sorry about it. Maybe I should talk lower and more clear instead of being so rambunctious. But anyways, what I also want to say is that after Andrew Jackson, cities as we know them today began to blossom. Jobs were created in construction, the hotel industry, and travel. So that wasn't something that was prior. That was the beginning of. That was the moments of true American living with big cities, some big cities, with most rural towns. And so I also want to mention that he was not considered a socialist. Nobody looked at him and was considering him socialist. They just considered him a forward thinker. And also, I'm going to move us forward, a little bit forward in time to Teddy Roosevelt, JFK, Bill Clinton. We are moving pretty fast, aren't we? But now we have our Obama. And they've all followed suit with regaining civil rights, which has been on the agenda of Irish Catholics ever since their immigration, actually a little bit before their immigration to America. And none of those presidents I mentioned, except Obama, was considered a socialist. Bill Clinton was considered a hero. JFK was the best president that had ever lived, even though, look what happened to him. Yes, but none of them were considered socialists except Obama. And why do Obama's naysayers get to get away with it? Well, in actuality, he's putting forth Irish Catholic views when the originators were from a horrible, bad economy that stuck them in a certain location, that stereotyped them, and it was just unbearable at the time. And so all I'm trying to say is it really that socialist to bring everybody to an equal playing field? I don't think it is socialist. And the only reason why I think he might be considered socialist by most other people from the Republican Party is mostly because of his extension of unemployment as well as his increase of public assistance and possibly that he initiated universal affordable health care, which we now call Obamacare. I don't have any views about Obamacare or those other things I mentioned. I don't have any views, but yeah, I don't think it's socialist when you're trying to take someone who's severely downtrodden and just bring them up a little bit, but make an equal playing field, which is actually, like I said, originated in the Irish Catholic religion. Um, and then another thing I wanted to mention just really fast is that when people pair Obama with Hitler, I kind of can't let that go, and that's because Obama has done so much in favor of minorities and, economically downtrodden people, and that's a quality that Adolf Hitler did not possess and would not possess in a million years. And so what I'm finally trying to get at is that Obama is not against God. He is doing a God's work that happens to be a God that has been partially obliterated from most of cultural and religious views today. And most of the views today that are glorified are obvious, right? It's obvious either Protestant or English Catholic or some sort of English church descendants. It's definitely not the minority churches that are out there or the churches that are considered to be social or socially oriented. Um, but that's all I wanted to say, and I do want to say that I have such enthusiasm about the subject matter that I have brought forth, a lot of knowledge that I have had from the past or from various teachers that I know and love. And so I just want everybody to think about it a little bit. Um, and on another note, final note, I really am glad to have had seen Trish's video. She's not stupid, as many people may say. She's about as smart as me, so that's pretty smart. um, and I hope what I have said does not offend anybody, as well as does not demean anybody in any way, shape, or form. And I do hope to get a response from Trish because I do think that she initiated some sort of really good thoughts through my mind. And like I said, it's a really great country to be able to express ourselves like this, and I don't disrespect anyone who's a Republican, even though I am not one, and gay rights are very important, even though I'm not a Republican. Some Republicans do believe in gay rights, so power to everybody. Okay, well, this ends my video. Again, I'm Curtis, and I hope to hear from Trish. Talk to you later.